This is Nana with So It Seems, and I want to show you a little bit about sewing machine maintenance. This is my heavy duty 6380. If you'll give me just a minute, I want to try to get it to a level where you will have a good view. And it is not working right now. Let's see. Let's see. I have to tell y'all, and I apologize, but I am not very tech savvy. And if I was tech savvy and I could zoom in, you would be getting a much better picture. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my sewing machine. And it's important that you get regular maintenance done to your machine if you use it quite frequently. But I really do not have a budget, especially having about, this is not working, having about 15 sewing machines. I definitely do not have the money. I apologize if that's making y'all drunk at the moment. But anyway, I do not have the money to afford a lot of maintenance on my sewing machine. And I try to do what I can to maintain my machine on my own. One thing that you can do, which will extend the life of your machine and help you as far as getting good service from your machine. I wonder if I take this, I'm going to try to take the extended table off. I'm not sure if that'll help or not, but I'm going to, what do you think? I'm going to give it a try. Anyway, one thing that will extend, the life of your machine is getting it cleaned on a regular basis or cleaning it yourself. I have purchased some things that help me to keep my machine clean. I have I think 17 sewing machines, and it is my goal to drastically cut down on some of them because I don't need that many. But I do love vintage machines, but I really don't love sewing on vintage machines. So I do like computerized machines, and as you all know, if you have watched my channel, I am in love with my heavy-duty 6380 manual machine. And that is what I'm going to be cleaning. Now, I ordered from Amazon some cleaning brushes, and this is one of them. This is not an expensive brush, and I've actually worn out some of these already. This is a much nicer brush. This is old school, and this actually was my grandmother's, my grandma Clea. She was a seamstress, and this, I have one of her sewing machines, and this brush came in it. So I dearly love this brush, and it is much better than the brushes that you can buy today. I also purchased this brush, and just several different brushes. I also purchased some items that look like mascara wands, and I don't know where I stuck them, or I'd be showing those to you. But anyway, when you get a sewing machine, it usually comes with a screwdriver, and I've tried many screwdrivers, and these came from Amazon. And these, as a matter of fact, I think it came with my brush and a couple of other things, but I love these. And the reason I love them is because they are so short. They're big enough to grip, but they're short. And when you're working underneath your sewing machine, it can be difficult when you unscrew things. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of tips. First of all, I do love these little stubby screwdrivers, so I highly recommend that you get those. Also, I have a magnetic dish, and I think that when you take anything apart, any screws or anything from your sewing machine, if you put them in a magnetic dish so you will not lose them, is a very good idea. Again, I'm still trying to get a good angle here. I don't know why it's got words across my screen and I can't see very well to make sure that you have a good angle. Let's see. I really can't. Let me try this. And again, I apologize. I bought a camera. I bought this stand for my camera. And it's supposed to go, which would really be great to use right now. It's supposed to go like up ahead. I'm going to try something. It's supposed to go up above, but it won't stay. It's too shaky, and I don't know what I need to do to fix it so it won't be so shaky. I'm going to see. I don't know if this will work. But, yeah, I'm thinking it's not going to work because my thing isn't even on it anymore. Never mind. I was going to see if I could figure this out. Well, obviously I'm not going to figure it out. Sorry. Anyway, that thing I got, it was so you could see overhead, and it was really good, and it doesn't work for me. I can't get it to work. What if I see the back camera is so much better, is so much clearer. There we go. Okay, my apologies. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this screwdriver. This is a flathead. And there are 2 screws, and these 2 screws keep the needle plate on my machine. So I am going to unscrew them, and I'm going to put them in my magnetic tray so I don't lose them, okay? This is, I'm taking off the needle plate, which is the part of your machine that has the markings for the different size seams. And it is also, if you have a top-loading bobbin, it is also where your top-loading bobbin is. So I have removed the top to my bobbin case, and I'm going to sit that over here. I'm taking my bobbin carefully out, and I'm going to set that to the side. Okay. I'm going to take my presser foot off. This is a snap-on presser foot, so I just very carefully have removed that. I'm going to leave the shank to my presser foot on. Right now, I'm picking up the face plate, which is right here, the needle plate. Okay, picking that up, and okay, I'm going to show you there is more screws inside of here, but I'm just going to do a really basic cleaning. So I am not going to take these, I'm not going to take these screws out, okay? All I did, if you can see, I've got some lint and some fuzz, okay? I'm also going to take my needle out because my last project that I did, I noticed that my needle did not seem very sharp. So I'm also going to use this, there you go, one twist with my little stubby screwdriver. Very carefully, I'm taking the needle out, okay? Because this needle is not sharp anymore. So just so I don't lose it, so it doesn't get so nobody steps on it or whatever. And I've screwed my little screw in a little bit because I don't want to lose that either. Okay, so I'm taking this brush and I'm brushing out the lint. I'm just cleaning, right now I'm cleaning the parts of the sewing machine that I can see. If you can see that kind of dust, that stuff flying, I'm just cleaning this out. Now I also have a little vacuum cleaner that you can suck out. I'm just brushing all around my bobbin area. I'm brushing where my feed dogs are. I'm just getting all the lint that I can see. And I really get down there, and that's why those cheap brushes don't last. Let's see. Ooh, I can see, if you look in there, I can see little bits of lint. And as I'm brushing away from the machine. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is cleaning the top where my bottom case is, okay? My bobbin casing where the bobbin actually goes. Okay, I'm cleaning the top of it. Now, I'm going to caution you about something. If you remove the actual bobbin casing, you will be able to clean your sewing machine better, okay? Not just the lid, but the actual casing where the bobbin goes, and you can clean your sewing machine better. But here is what I want to warn you of. You need to look at how your bobbin casing goes in, because you don't want to get this put in the wrong place. You don't want it to be aligned wrong, okay? So I'm looking at my bobbin casing, and one thing that I notice, I'm paying careful attention. There's an arm, okay? There's a metal arm, and it looks like it kind of holds the casing in. I can turn my casing easily back and forth. Something else I notice is there's a little yellow dot, okay? There's a little yellow dot, or it appears to be like a little gold dot or a gold screw. Well, that goes in the front, okay? And I'm looking to see if I have some tailor's chalk, which I have it everywhere, but of course I don't have it here. What is this? Okay, because what I want to do, where that little screw lines up, I'm putting a dot. I have a white chalk marker, okay? And I'm coloring where that screw lines up, because I want something that's going to guide me to putting this back into the right place. Okay, so I've taken this out, okay? This is my actual bobbin goes in here. But I I marked on my sewing machine, because I'm going to tell you, if you don't line this back up, it will give you problems. It can cause you to break a needle. It can make your stitches. The first time I ever took this apart and cleaned it, it took me so long to get it back together. And because I sewed with it in the way it was seated was not correct, my needle hit it and it made a little burr on it, and it did not fit right anymore, and it gave me a terrible time. But anyway, oh boy. Okay, I'm going to show y'all. If you look, see, do you see that lint right there that came out? That was underneath that black case, okay? I didn't see that until I moved the black case. So if you can move your black case, you can clean your machine. You can clean under that bobbin. And if you clean under that bobbin, your machine will sew better. It can cause you a lot of trouble if you have lint and dirt in your machine. Every time I buy, most of my sewing machines are used, okay? And every time I buy a used sewing machine, the first thing I do is clean it. And 9 times out of 10, there's either two scenarios. Either they didn't use it at all, and you can tell, and it's pristine, or they used it and it's not clean, and they might have thought they had trouble with it. 2 things that can help you very much in your sewing journey is keeping your machine free of lint. And if you have a problem with stitches or tension, rethreading your machine. It's kind of like if you have a computer, if you have IT people, every time you call them and you have a problem with your computer, the first thing they tell you is for you to go ahead and reset the computer, or cut it on and off, or reboot it. Well, that is kind of what threading does for your machine, because you can have the slightest thing wrong in the way your machine is threaded, and that can make it not stitched nice. It can cause a world of trouble. Okay, so I have swept this out all that I can. Now I'm going to tell you another trick. Little paintbrush. You can get really tiny paintbrushes, and you can use all kind of brushes that maybe can go a little further into your machine. And sometimes they get more dust out too. When you take it in to be serviced, they're going to completely take it apart and service it. But I'm only so brave in how far I want to take my machine apart, because I don't want to mess it up. So I like to be fairly certain when whatever I take apart in my machine, that I can, I'm still getting dust out, that I can put it back together, okay? Because putting it back together the incorrect way can cause you a world of problems. Another thing I recommend, if you take a picture, like when you're taking your machine apart, if you take pictures, and then you can go back and compare those pictures. Okay. Also, when you're cleaning your machine, I like to turn my flywheel. My particular machine, you turn it towards you. A lot of them, you turn it towards you. Some of them might be different, but I like to turn it, because as I turn it, you can see that this metal casing travels around, but it opens up spaces that you couldn't see before that might that might have some dirt or have some dust, have some lint. Again, they do not recommend that you use the canned air. A lot of people want to use that air because, you know, they figure it blows stuff out, but it can also blow stuff way far into your machine, and you don't want that either. So anyway, I've not been sewing with stuff that's too fuzzy. I mean, when I'm using terry cloth or something like that, I really get a mess in my machine. Okay. All right. So now it's time to go back and put it back together. I've brushed it out, which that actually, I do see a little red lint. I don't even know where that came from. Also, something else is strings. If you get strings like your thread in your machine, that can cause trouble too. Okay, so now here I go with trying to get this bobbin case seated right where it needs to be. Y'all, I'm going to tell you the truth about this machine. I see my little gold dot, but one thing I forgot to check was how my, I forgot to check the direction of this. Okay, so very carefully, I'm trying to get this thing seated back in here. Okay, there. Did y'all hear that snap? When you have it seated correctly, you can turn your flywheel and it travels around and it's very smooth, okay? And if you have your needle on it, which I'm going to do that right now, I'm going to put my needle, I'm going to put in a new needle. I'm using the Singer brand, and I'm going to use the size that I'm going to use is, it's got a thing on the back that tells you what it's recommended for. So 90-14 is kind of a medium. A medium, 12 to 14 is for medium. And then 16 is for heavyweight fabrics. I don't plan on doing any sheer material, but I'm going to go ahead and put a 90-14 in my machine. So I'm going to open my package of needles. So I've got it all cleaned out, but you know what I think I should do first? I've got that seated incorrectly, okay? When I put my needle in here, I got a little piece of thread on my faceplate. Let me get that out of here. Okay. I'm also brushing my faceplate off just to make sure there's nothing on there. Okay, so when I put my faceplate back on, you just very carefully, you want your feet, oh, I'm putting it on backwards. Okay, so just so I can show you the faceplate right here, this is where the feed dogs go, okay? They pop right into it, so you know that you have it on correctly. So now I'm going to take my screws out of my magnetic dish, okay? And I'm going to put my screws back in. I got my little chubby screwdriver here. And very carefully, see how easy it is to turn this screw? And it's because this is a short screwdriver. When I try to use the tall screwdrivers, it makes me hit my fingers and my hands. underneath my sewing machine. I just really like these chubby screwdrivers, and I believe they came from Amazon. Okay, so I have my screws put back in. Okay, now I'm going to take my bobbin, and I'm going to put my bobbin back in, and I'm going to pull my thread around like it goes. I do have a video that shows how you do your bobbin thread, how you put that in, okay? So I've got that in, just giving it a test, making sure everything's going like it should be, and that looks good, okay? So before I put my presser foot back on, I am going to open up my needles. Now, to change your needle, okay, you will notice right here, this is the little thing that screws your needle in, okay? So I loosened it up. I took my needle out. Now, needles have, the way they're made, the back of them at the very top, the back is flat and the front is not. And on your machine, usually the back of the needle, the flat part, is what goes to the back. Okay, so I am taking out a 90-14 out of the package. And I'm trying to be careful how I open my package because I don't want all my needles to fall out, because they have it listed on the package what the sizes are and what they're recommended for. So that's important. This thing is not. I'm having a hard time getting my needle out of here. There we go. 90-14. That says 10 pieces of needles. Wow. That's a lot of needles. I didn't realize I had 10 pieces of needles. The most they give you is 80-12. That's the size they give you the most of. I like to use the 90-14, which if I never get it out of here, there we go. Okay, so I got my needle out. The back at the top is flat, the front is round, okay? So you take your needle, I put it in between my thumb and my finger. Underneath here, the needle goes straight up. Make sure you've got the back part, the flat part, okay? And very carefully, I'm just poking it. There's a hole, and you want to get your needle in the hole. And you can tell when you get it in there because you'll be able to push the needle up. And they do make little things you can use to help you. There we go. Okay. When I got it situated, it went right in. Okay, there's a hole, and you have to have the flat part to the back, and then you just push that right up in there. Okay, then I'm going to take my needle, and I'm going to do my little flywheel towards me and make sure my needle goes up and down. My feed dogs are going up and down. Okay. So the very last step I'm going to do is put my presser foot back on, And this is a drop down presser foot. So I just line it up, put it down, and it pops right on, okay? So now the only thing left to do, this is clean. I have a new needle. My bobbin is situated. So all I have left is to thread my machine, and then I'll be ready once again, okay, to start sewing. So this has been brushing the lint out of your machine, putting your bobbin back in, and changing your needle. Just regular service that you need to do. And it is important that you change your needle frequently. It will help your sewing machine sew better. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share my video. Have a great night.